Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. We're not going to take too much time on here, but I want everybody to take a real close look to President Trump's ear here. Nothing's missing from it. Not a thing. Not one thing is missing from that ear. Okay? Other than his brains. Because people that are rich and have money, they don't have wisdom. And that's a cold, hard truth. I'm sorry I haven't put any videos up in the last 4 days. I'm getting ready to go on vacation at the end of this month, and I have to have all my ducks in a row before I can go and leave my dad, because he is medically fragile. So plus I had to make a little extra ducats on the side with, spending money. So that's where I've been the last 4 days. Today's been the first day off that I've had an opportunity to do anything. This lesson isn't about Donald Trump. It was just, I wanted to point that out, that there's nothing missing from his ear. The bullet takes off part of your ear, you're going to have a little chip missing from it. So there's that. We're going to read from Samuel today. We're here at chapter 10 of Samuel. And the last chapter here spoke a little bit about Samuel's anoints Saul, and that's what we're continuing on here, is the anointing of Saul. Then Samuel took a flask of olive oil and poured it on Saul's head and kissed him, saying, "Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance?" Over his inheritance. Well, whose inheritance are we talking about? We're talking about Samuel's inheritance. So Samuel is in this position, is considered as a lord. He's telling you he is considering himself a lord. Has not the Lord, me in this case, anointed you to rule over the inheritance? Well, to receive an inheritance is from an ancestor. Also, understand that the anointing that is poured over Saul's head is a metaphor for the anointing oil that is produced in our corpus callosum. Okay, giving you a little insight about what I'm talking about is transcripts were identified in the cerebral cortex, pineal gland, and the choroid plexus of both rats and humans via in situ hybridization. Okay, what is that telling us? Here, in the corpus callosum is a large bundle of more than 200 million myelinated nerve fibers that connect the two brain hemispheres, permitting communication between the right and left side of the brain. Why do you suppose that there's two hemispheres of the brain? Because one is masculine and the other is feminine. One is creates, and the other is knowledge. It's survival skills. It's instinct. So what we're talking about here at the cerebral cortex and the pineal gland and the choroid plexus, these organs, these brain organs, this tissue and stuff, create inside of our brains dimethyltryptamine is an indole alkaloid derived from the Schmidt pathway. Its biosynthesis is relatively simple and summarized in the adjacent picture. In plants, the parent amino acid L-tryptophan is produced indigenously, where in animals, L-tryptophan is an essential amino acid coming from diet. So dimethyltryptamine here is a psychedelic drug that can be smoked, inhaled, injected, or used as an enema. It is inactive when taken orally, unless gut monoamines exudase inhabited, and its effect are similar to lysergides. A little deeper. So specifically dimethylene trap the mind, the mind, die, methyl. Okay, look at the word structure here. Dimethylene is a hallucinogenic drug with an action of short duration. It's called DMT. So when Samuel is being anointed by having oil poured over his head, it's a metaphor for the anointing oil that is produced inside of our brains, dimethylene. Without this chemical drug that is produced, the flesh, it dies. You stop your dream, because that's what we're in. We're in a dream world, okay? The flesh isn't real. The flesh has made you think that you're real. Satan wants you to believe that the flesh is real. Satan wants you to believe that the only thing that exists is your flesh. You're born into your flesh, you live, you die, and that's it. You go on the ground and it's over. That's bullshit. You live on. Your soul lives on. Where it lives on is on you, okay? When you leave me today, you will meet two men near Rachel's tomb at Zelzah on the border of Benjamin. They will say to you, the donkeys you set out to look for have been found, and now your father has stopped thinking about them and is worried about you. He is asking, what shall I do about my son? Then you will go on from there until you reach the great tree of Tabor. 3 men going up to worship God at Bethel will meet you there. One will be carrying 3 young goats, another 3 loaves of bread, and another a skin of wine. There they will greet you and offer you 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. After that, you will go to Gibeah of God, where there is a Philistine outpost. As you approach the town, you will meet a processor of prophets coming down from the high place with lyres, timbrels, pipes, and harps being played before them, and they will be prophesying. The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully upon you, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be changed into a different person. Once these signs are fulfilled, do whatever your hand finds to do, for God is with you. Go ahead of me in Gilgal. I will surely come down to you to sacrifice burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. But you must wait 7 days until I come to you and tell you what you are to do. Saul is made king. As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. When he and his servants arrived at Gibeah, a procession of prophets met him. The Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he joined in their prophesying. When all those who had formerly known him saw him prophesying with the prophets, they asked each other, what is this that has happened to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? A man who lived there answered, and who is their father? So it became a saying, is Saul also among the prophets? After Saul stopped prophesying, he went to the high place. Now Saul's uncle asked him and his servant, where have you been? Look for the donkeys, he said. But when he saw that they were not to be found, we went to Samuel. Saul's uncle said, tell me what Samuel said to you. Saul replied, he assured us that the donkeys has been found, but did not tell his uncle what Samuel had said about the kingship. Samuel summoned the people of Israel to the Lord of Mishpah and said to them, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought Israel up out of Egypt, and I delivered you from the power of Egypt and all the kingdoms that oppressed you. But you have not rejected your God, but you have now rejected your God, who saves you out of all your disasters and calamities. And you have said, appoint a king over us. So now present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans. When Samuel had all Israel come forward by tribes, the tribes of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribes of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matrius clan was taken. And remember that the clan of Benjamin was almost wiped out, all but 600 men. And then that there were only 400 wives left for them. And then there were also 200 that they were taken that at a party, at a festival that was taking place. The 200 Benjamites that were left were told to come into the festival, and they could take all the wives that they chose, or a wife for themselves, so that the clan of the Benjamites would not fall. I believe the parable is, why should a tribe of Israel, the Benjamites, not be one with the 12 tribes? Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally Saul, son of Kish, was taken, but when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of the Lord, has the man come here yet? And the Lord said, yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies. So now you have a Lord here that is speaking with others who are asking question and inquiring of the Lord. So that's Samuel 10, chapter 20. Oops. Samuel chapter 10, verse 20. Oh, what we need here. Give me 1 second. See, now this may cause confusion for some, because these are all cap letters here. Clearly you can see that these are not all caps. It's a different Lord in this particular case. Remember, you're welcome, Pops. Remember that those in Israel, the wives of Israel, call their men lords. So when you are calling your husband a lord, it is not the supreme creator. That's the only way that I can make this distinction for you, the difference between L-O-R-D with lowercase letters O-R-D and all uppercase letters, because all uppercase letters in this particular context here is Yahweh. And those in the providence of Israel today, the Jewish nation, not the Jew, not the Hebrew. There's a difference between a Jew and Jewish. They are two different races of people. Brother Sanchez talks a lot about this too. If the white man was used as a belt to bust the black people's asses, then why would we, the Gentile nations, be punished if that was our purpose, was correction for the Israelites? Just a thought. So they inquired further of the Lord, has the man come here yet? And the Lord said, yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies. They ran and brought him out, and as he stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Samuel said to all the people, do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among all the people. Then the people shouted, long live the king. Samuel explained to the people the rights and duties of kingship. He wrote them down on a scroll and deposited it before the Lord. Then Samuel dismissed the people to go to their own homes. Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said, "How can this fellow save us?" They despised him and brought him no gifts. But Saul kept silent. Remember in 12:3 of Genesis, it says, "I will bless those that bless thee and curse those that curse thee." They're specifically talking about the Gentile nations here. I will bless the Gentile nations that bless thee, Hebrew, Israel, and I will curse the Gentile that curse the Hebrew, Israel. And that's what it's talking about. I'm going to leave this one a short reading. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living one. Much love to all those that are in service of one Supreme Creator, the point of singularity. This is White Raptor News Ministries.